Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door. I get ideas for videos in various different places, and chatting to friend of the channel Russ the other day, he happened to tell me his club's average position over the past decade, which pricked up my interest massively. It made me think, well, we always talk big picture across 1 or 2 seasons. What about a decade? And how happy should fans be with their current position in context of where they've been for the last decade? So, what I have done is I have taken each club's average position over the past 10 seasons and I've compared it to where they are right now. So that gives me a plus number or a minus number. There you go. Spoiler alert, nobody's exactly the same number. And I've ordered them into a league table. Obviously, don't take it too seriously. At best, it'll be a bit of fun. Might even find it interesting to see where clubs lie right now in relation to the past 10 seasons. Shall we do it? Let's start at the bottom. And apologies, Derby fans, 24th. The 10-year average for Derby, I think they've been in the Championship every season, is 9th place in the Championship. They're 28.8 in the pyramid. Currently, they are 22nd, so they are minus 13.2 off their Championship average, well, their 10-year average, and that puts them bottom of our decade comparison table. In 23rd, not helped by their excellent 10-year average of 17th. So Stoke over the past decade on average are a surviving Premier League team indeed. They're currently 8th in the Championship. This would have been even less flattering a year or so ago, wouldn't it? So they are minus 11 and they come in 23rd in our table. 22nd is Cardiff, whose 10-year average puts them in 5th in the Championship, 24.7, a playoff position. They're currently 15th, 10 places off that. So that is the 22nd most flattering comparison. In 21st is QPR. Their 10-year average is decent, actually. 8th in the Championship. There's some Premier League seasons in there also. And it's only the past few seasons that they're actually tending to trend beneath that. So they get a minus 10 and they come in 21st. In 20th, Forest, like Derby, I think probably the only teams who've been in the Championship the entire time. Forest's average over the past 10 years, 13th. So a bit up, a bit down, a bit in the middle. I'm sure they've been everywhere over the past 10 seasons, other than out of the Championship. And they get a minus 7.2 because they're currently in 20th. I wonder if they'll be able to crawl on up into 13th to hit their 10-year average by the end of the season. 19th is Birmingham City. Their 10-year average is 13th in the Championship. I don't remember off the top of my head. Have they been in the Premier League in that period? I don't recall. You'll find out at the end, actually. But their current difference is minus 6 because they're 19th in the Championship. 18th in our table is Swansea, whose 10-year average is, like Stoke's, very impressively, they're a Premier League team over the past 10 years. So despite the fact that they're excellently performing in the Championship this season in second and heading back to the Premier League, if we stop the clocks, it's a minus 4.6. So they're underperforming their 10-year average big picture. In 17th, Sheffield Wednesday, whose 10-year average is 17th in the Championship. They have, of course, been lower than that in the last 10 years. I think I'm right in saying minus 4.5 against their 10-year average. They currently lie 21st, but a good little run of late means they may be able to get above that by the end of the season. Here's Watford. Their 10-year average is 21.7, i.e. second in the Championship. So that is the definition of a yo-yo team, really, in terms of position. They have been up and they have been down over the last 10 years. A few good Premier League seasons in there to boot. Current difference, they're 4.3 places off that. They're 6th in the Championship. So stop the clocks. 3 games in the playoffs away from getting back up there. And our other traditional right in between the two on the edge team is Norwich. Their 10-year average 20.8. So they are top of the Championship on average over the past 10 years. And that's exactly where they are right now. So just 0.2 away from being exactly in the same spot they've on average been from over the past 10 seasons. 14th is Blackburn Rovers, 31.7. So their average position over the past 10 years, 12th in the Championship. They're currently 11th. So very, very close, just 0.7 above that. 13th, Middlesbrough, 10-year average. They did have a lot of years outside the Premier League, and then just the 1 year up, Karanka took them up. They're currently in 7th, so they're outperforming their 10-year average by just 1 position. Remember that number. Dragged down a little bit by last season, where they did finish a lot lower than that. In 12th position in our table is Huddersfield, who did have a couple of Premier League years. They also had some League One years as well. So perhaps the first team I'm talking about that's been in 3 different divisions over the past 10 seasons. Their average puts them 15th in the Championship. They're currently 13th, so they're outperforming that by 1.5 places. Into the top half and 11th is Millwall, who haven't been in the Premier League, but they have been in League One. So they are outperforming their 10-year average by 2 places. They've outperformed it by quite a few places more than that, 10 places over the past 3 seasons. On 2 occasions they've finished 8th, haven't they? They're currently 16th, so they're performing 2.1 places above the 10-year average. Into the top 10. And we have Bournemouth, who's a very interesting one because they're another 3-league team. Definitely been in League One, Premier League and Championship over the past 10 seasons. So their average position bumped up there by some really good Premier League finishes. There is 7th in the Championship, but it all averages out because of those League One years as well. Quite the climb for Bournemouth. They are currently 4.1 positions above their 10-year average. So, plucky little Bournemouth, as they always used to get called, are outperforming their 10-year average. 9th is Reading. Their 10-year average is 11th in the Championship. Current difference, well, it's a good season for Reading because they're 5 places above that. I don't think they've been in the Premier League, or maybe 1 season, I think, if memory serves, in the last 10 years, 1 or 2 at most. But in the main, in the Championship, currently outperforming their average by 5.5 places. Preston are currently outperforming their 10-year average by 8.7 places. Over the past 10 years, they've been 21st in the Championship. They're currently 12th. So they are a supporter base who's got quite used to the top half of the Championship over recent seasons. But big picture, it hasn't always been that good. In 7th is Bristol City, some League One years in there. No Premier League years, but 1 playoff final defeat for them in the past 10 seasons. The 10-year average puts them 19th in the Championship. They've stabilised into a Championship club. Hasn't quite caught up over the 10-year average though. So they're still 8 places above their average as they sit in 10th in the top half of the Championship. Rotherham are 6th in our table. Their 10-year average, they're our first League One team on average over the last decade, and not just League One. 10th position in League One, so outside of those playoff places. They're 10 places above that though, 10.5 indeed, because they're 23rd in the Championship, trying to stabilise into a regular second-tier team. In 5th position, all hail Brentford, who tend to top most lists when it comes to improvement in terms of Championship teams. They're 5th in this one. They can't get to the top of this one. Their average position 16th in the Championship. Some League One years in there, obviously really getting close in League One, losing in the playoffs before going up. And then a slight outlier, which probably puts them down a little bit in this league, is that one playoff finish in the Championship is just a little bump up from the otherwise steady rising in position from Brentford. I'm talking about 14-15, I think, off the top of my head. Anyway, they're 12.8 places currently above their 10-year average, up in 4th in the Championship. In 4th position is Barnsley, whose 10-year average does just have them in the Championship, but it has them being relegated from the Championship on average over the last 10 years, which Barnsley fans will probably sort of concur with. That seems to have been their experience certainly a couple of times. 43rd in the pyramid, but they're currently 9th, so they're 14 places above their 10-year average, and you would expect that trend upwards, certainly in their average position, to continue as they look like one of the better run teams in the Championship. 3rd is Coventry, who've been all over the shop in the last 10 years, haven't they? Because of some ownership issues. They have been all the way down in League 2 for one season and in League 1 also, which puts their average position 55th in the pyramid, so lower than halfway for sure. 11th in League 1. They're currently 18 places above that, comfortably staying up as it stands in 17th in the Championship, and that puts them 3rd in our table of teams outperforming their 10-year average. In 2nd, well, they had to be high up, didn't they? Wycombe, who are in the Championship for the first time, so you know full well their average is going to be below that, and look how far below it is. Look, over the past 10 seasons, Wycombe's average position 4th in League 2, so they're almost a upper challenging League 2 team, which means we do really have to tip our cap to Wycombe and the fact that although they're bottom of the Championship, they are on a 10-year basis and a historical basis over way longer than that, really punching high above their weight. Indeed, 27.8 places above the 10-year average. And those of you who are good at deduction will know that Luton Town are the only team remaining, so they are top of our table, and by God, some points deductions, and maybe they were artificially below their natural level because they've had a bad time, but Luton have our lowest position in any league finish of any Championship club over the last 10 years, because they finished, I think, and we'll bring it up in a minute, 99th in the pyramid, which would be 7th in the conference. Incredible stuff from Luton. There was a back-to-back promotion in there in the last 10 years. They're currently 14th in the Championship, but their average 10-year league position is 8th in League 2. So not quite as low as Wycombe's, but they're obviously 10 places higher, which puts them top of our table at plus 41.9 places above their average 10-year league position. So it's only fitting that we tip our cap to the Hatters of Luton, who, according to 10-year league position, are the best performing team right at this moment. And yes, I know places change almost weekly, but hey, we've got to stop the clocks at some point to make the video. So congratulations to Luton. There is the table and my working out in its entirety with everybody's league finishes there. If you're looking for a high, you can see Swansea there, 2015, 8th in the Premier League. They finished. They've got a 9th in there as well. Stoke have got 3 9ths in terms of top half Premier League finishes in the past 10 years. And if you're looking for a low, look at Luton there, 95th, 97th, 99th and 93rd. The first 4 seasons outside of the 92. And then what a climb there. Look, 93 all the way up since 2014 to 39 last season. And they're even higher than that at the moment in 34. So well done to Luton. Now, I know I'm going to get comments from teams who my system of working out hasn't looked upon favourably, but come on guys, especially these teams who've played in the Premier League, give Luton, Wycombe, Coventry, Barnsley their dues. I know Brentford get a lot of credit, but hey, they kind of deserve it, don't they? But let's put it up. Here is the highest average position of a Championship team over the last 10 years, and Stoke top the table with 17th, Swansea in second, Norwich third, Watford fourth, Cardiff and Bournemouth make up the top 6 there. So as you can imagine, all the teams that have spent, multiple years, some of them, particularly in Stoke and Swansea's case, at the top level, top our table. Notice how that number moves quickly from 20 down to outside the playoff position there. It's hard to get up there and even harder to stay up there, apparently. So there is my little look into has your club improved in the past decade. Like I say, it's supposed to be interesting. It's supposed to be a bit of fun. It doesn't solve any problems or answer any questions, really, because obviously what happens in the now is the most important thing. But perhaps certain fan bases can maybe look and think, oh, well, we're moving in the right direction. And is this really that bad over the past 10 seasons? Or should we be disappointed? And maybe certain teams will think, oh, crikey, have we really gone anywhere? Have we really done anything over the past 10 years? Hey, it's up to you. Is your glass half empty or your glass half full? You decide, but then tell me in the comments on what does that reveal for you as a supporter about your team and the past decade. Thank you everybody for watching, and it's over and out from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.